Good afternoon, everyone. We're just going to get started now as it's 12 o'clock. Welcome to today's webinar, Scale Business Faster, Tap into Funding, Talent, and Export Opportunities with Hamilton Exports. My name is Emily Collins. I'm a project coordinator at Magnet, a digital social innovation with a mandate to advance careers, businesses, and communities in Canada. I'm so happy to have you all join in on today's panel. But just before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items being here in a Zoom webinar. At the bottom of your Zoom screen, you should see a chat box or an option to open up the chat box. Please use this chat if you have a question for me or if you're experiencing any technical difficulties. Also, you're going to have the opportunity to ask questions to any of our speakers today during our Q&A. So feel free throughout the next hour to ask questions using the chat box, and we're going to get to as many of them as possible. We really want today to be an interactive and engaged session. And just one more thing, today's live session is being recorded, so you'll have the opportunity to go back and listen to the recording. Don't have to worry about taking any notes during this next hour, but also, feel free to send the recording to a colleague or, someone else who you feel this information would be useful for. All right, so here is our agenda today and what we will be looking at over the next hour or so. So you're going to hear a short introduction about Magnet and the Hamilton Exports portal from me, and then 3 great presentations from partners on supports available to help small businesses in Hamilton. And then following these presentations, we're going to open it up to all of you for an interactive Q&A. So again, use that chat box, ask questions. And finally, I'll explain the next steps to getting involved and getting started on the Hamilton Exports portal if you do not already have an account started. And I just see I have a chat coming in. Okay, there's some crackling in audio on my end, so please let me know if it gets any worse. I'm going to try and speak a little bit closer to my computer. So first, I just want to introduce all of our speakers today before we dive in and learn a little bit more about Magnet. So our first speaker is Cassandra D'Ambrosio, and Cassandra is the Manager of Marketing and Strategic Initiatives at the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. She's been the project manager behind the Magnet initiative in Hamilton, launching the platform in January 2018 with city partners and facilitating rollout among employers and job seekers. Cassandra has a profound love for the city of Hamilton and the people in its community. She plays an active role in Hamilton's Young Entrepreneurs and Professionals Network and enjoys volunteering, collaborating, mentoring, and discussing opportunities for emerging leaders to grow within the city. Our second speaker is Tammy Wang, a passionate Hamiltonian and a city builder. Tammy works for the City of Hamilton in Economic Development's Global Hamilton office, helping immigrant business owners access city resources and generally spreading the good word about Hamilton internationally. Tammy's helped launch programs like Land in Hamilton, Hamilton's International Delegation Protocol, and supporting Hamilton's foreign direct investment strategy. She's also helped Hamilton achieve top 7 intelligent community status and is active and engaged in Hamilton's technology and smart city initiatives. On her evenings and weekends, she is CEO of CoMotion Group, and she's passionate about building Hamilton as a globally recognized and intelligent community. And finally, we have Katie Baker, the project manager for Magnet Business. She is a certified international trade professional, CPA, CMA, and has been an export development officer, and more recently has operated her own export consultancy. Over the course of her career, she's worked and collaborated with some of Canada's top trade development entities and has worked collectively with over 500 SMEs across multiple sectors and world regions. So thank you so much to our speakers. Really looking forward to what you've got to say today. But first, I just wanted to give a little intro into Magnet because not all of you may be aware of what we do. But again, we are a social digital innovation. We're a non-for-profit, and we use a technology platform with a reverse matching algorithm to make sure both Canadian job seekers and businesses are able to connect to opportunities that will help them grow. So whether that's meaningful employment connections, or for employers if they're accessing talent, for small businesses getting funding and export services, all of that, that's really what Magnet is here for. And we're based out of Ryerson University, but we work with all kinds of stakeholders across Canada. So our network consists of all levels of government, educational institutions, chambers, boards of trade, industry associations, employment service providers. There's really so many. And our projects span across the three main pillars. So careers, business, and communities, which you see here on my slide. And so today we'll be focusing on the Hamilton Exports portal, which falls under our business pillar. And I see a few, we have a few guests just joining now. So welcome, we're just getting started, so you haven't missed much, but please let me know if you have any questions throughout the presentation. If you're experiencing any technical difficulties, you can chat with me via the Zoom chat box, so please make use of that. So what exactly is the Hamilton Exports portal and what we'll be talking about today? Well, it's a free platform and it's powered by Magnet, and it was really built to connect small businesses in Hamilton with the right export opportunities, job candidates, funding, industry events, and really the goal was to help build small business capacity and really allow companies to become more competitive. And this particular service launched earlier this year. We had previously worked with the city and chamber recruitment initiatives for Hamilton companies, but we really wanted to offer another layer of opportunity matching, and that's all done with this Magnet technology. So now a small business can log onto Magnet, can identify their industry, served, organization size, export experience, all of these questions that are in a one-time business profile, and they then essentially automatically receive a curated dashboard filled with opportunities like government funding, grants, export seminars, trade missions, local networking opportunities. There's workshops, webinars, there's really all sorts of opportunities. And I just see that we're still getting some audio problems on my end. Let me see. Just give me one moment. All right, just give me one moment. I will be back in literally 60 seconds. I'm just going to use a different phone to call in. So just hang tight for 30 seconds and I will. All right, so I am back. I'm hoping that my audio is a little bit better now, so please let me know, Cassandra, if it's gotten any better. So where did I leave off? Okay, yeah, so the Hamilton Exports portal, it's really a full suite of export and business growth related content, but the value proposition to small businesses here is that it's all targeted opportunities. So you're not going to receive messages that aren't relevant to you. And I would also like to mention that this initiative was started alongside chambers in Flamborough and Stony Creek, and it's really a regional initiative. So if you're located just outside the Hamilton area, you can absolutely take advantage of the opportunities and of creating this account. So if you're located in Flamborough or Stony Creek, please let us know in the chat box. We'd love to connect you with your respective chamber.
So you might wonder who provides the programming and resources for this export portal. Well, they come from top-tier content providers in the Canadian export ecosystem. So the Province of Ontario, Global Affairs Canada, and the Trade Commissioner Service, Export Development Canada, and the Business Development Bank of Canada. And what's really different for you businesses in the Hamilton region is that you'll also be notified of relevant business opportunities at the local level. So if the city or if the chamber has something going on that you particularly would benefit from, they can also use the magnet matching technology to send you a push notification saying, hey, this is an important opportunity for you. So please make sure you sign up or you take advantage of it. And yeah, that's really the whole goal of this portal, again, to send those targeted notifications. So that's really just a short intro into this portal, and my colleague Katie later on over the next hour is going to go into more depth on why you should be considering exporting your products or services across borders. But first, we want to hear from our partners. So with that, and I'm just going to be advancing your slides, so please let me know if you're ready for your slide to be advanced, Cassandra and Tammy. But with that, I'd like to introduce Cassandra D'Ambrosio, and the manager of marketing and strategic initiatives at the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. So please take it away, Cassandra.
Thanks, Emily. I appreciate that. So hi, everyone. I'm not sure if anyone here is not a member of the Hamilton Chamber. I suspect so, but for those that are, you'll kind of just hear the same pitch that you already know quite well. So the Hamilton Chamber is basically a connector organization. We work very closely with the city and all 3 levels of government to ensure business prosperity here in the Hamilton level. And pretty much every major city has a Chamber of Commerce that helps to drive business. So we essentially run events, networking opportunities, ways that businesses can connect to business growth opportunities, et cetera, similar to what Emily had just mentioned. The export portal powered through Magnet is definitely one of them. We like to connect Hamilton outside of the region, and we have a couple of initiatives that do that as well. We have some partnerships at the Buffalo Niagara Chamber in order to expand into the Buffalo, the US market, and we work very closely with some of the other anchor institutions like Kitchener-Waterloo and Toronto. Those are two anchoring communities that we work within to have an innovation corridor. So you can advance to the next slide there, Emily. When you join the chamber, there are a couple of benefits. We like to say that we kind of have these top 10 benefits to joining. I didn't list all 10, so I thought I'd just cover some of the major ones that people come to the chamber for. So essentially, it's to progress themselves and their names forward, their business forward. We're a membership organization, and currently we represent just over 1,000 businesses in Hamilton. That allows you to network with these businesses, grow your brand, grow your awareness. It offers opportunities to kind of collaborate with businesses who are members of the chamber. So there's a lot of networking opportunities. We offer a lot of cost-effective advertising, and basically we're kind of like always in your corner. We want to help you advance and help you meet your goals. Go to the next slide. A couple of free resources that I just wanted to cover. So these are also available on our website if you ever want to go back. So Magnet is one of them. That's one of the things that we have been running for the past 2 years, a program here that helps with not only the exporting side that we're going to touch on today, but also how to find and tap into local talent to hire for your business, whether you need someone part-time, you're looking for an apprentice, or someone full-time to add on to your workforce. Magnet is also a tool that can support that, and we'll get into how that can how you can use Magnet today to connect to talent. Another one is the LRT Ready series. So these are free seminar series that we put on 4 times a year. Of course, we know that the LRT is coming to Hamilton, and a lot of businesses are very concerned with how the construction is going to impact their sales and how foot traffic and whatnot. So we have been bringing in experts basically in construction mitigation to talk to Hamilton businesses about what tactics they can start doing now and putting in place in order for them to feel ready in 2020 onward when this all becomes a vibrant reality to us here in Hamilton. And then the last one is Digital Main Street, which is another company out of Toronto that we have partnered with. They provide two $2,500 grants to businesses who are a part of a BIA or a commercial corridor that need some assistance in basically boosting up their digital technologies or services. So if you need like a new POS system, or you want to refresh your website, or want to spend some money on Google advertising, things like that, this $2,500 grant is available to any business in Hamilton in that in a BIA or a commercial corridor. And the application deadline, just to plug that, is December 31st of this year. All you have to do is watch a few videos and fill in a little application form. It doesn't take longer than just a day to kind of cover all of that, and you get $2,500 in your pocket to help you out with those kinds of things. And I can always provide more information if you'd like. And then I'll just plug one more event that we have coming up. So next week Emily, you can progress to the next slide there. Next week we're hosting Toronto Mayor John Tory on Tuesday at Leona Station, and he's just coming to talk about regional collaboration within Toronto and Hamilton. This does have a cost. I believe it's $50 for members and $55 for non-members. So it's a paid breakfast, and you get to hear a conversation between John Tory and Ron McCurley, president of Mohawk College. So if anyone's interested in that, we still have some tickets available, and that's next week on Tuesday morning. And then lastly, if you do want to consider joining the Hamilton Chamber, if you haven't, if you're not currently your business is not a member, you can contact HCC at hamiltonchamber.ca, or you can give us a call at that number below, and we can get you directed to our membership team. What's covered today, basically with Magnet, is just one of the many initiatives that we're running to help businesses. And if you're interested in how that can assist you, I mean, Magnet, you don't need to be a chamber member in order to engage with. I'd like to make sure that part's clear. But any of the other initiatives that we're running sometimes do require you to be a member. So this is just the information in order to become one. Yeah, and I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has something specific near the end of the webinar.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much for a very informative presentation, Cassandra. So next up we have Tammy, and Tammy, I will forward to your next slide and take it away. Please get started.
Today, I'd like to talk to you about the city of Hamilton. And if you go to the next slide, Emily. We are the 9th largest regional economy in Canada. So in Hamilton, we are actively looking at opportunities to try and grow out our global businesses and try and help our local businesses expand and grow their footprint internationally. Here at the City of Hamilton's Economic Development Department, we have a team of experts in a variety of different sectors in order to help your business find the different resources that they might need, both locally and internationally. Next slide. If you don't know, Hamilton is well entrenched in the middle of the Golden Horseshoe, where we are approximately 60 minutes from several major markets, including Toronto, Waterloo, and the US marketplace. Next slide. where the entire labor catchment within a 2-hour drive of us is into the millions. So what we are actively pushing internationally is that we have access to the talent and we have access to opportunities to connect to a larger marketplace. Next slide. We are a multimodal city, meaning that we have access to all 4 modalities, including rail, air and port, and as well as highway. Our airport is actually the busiest cargo airport in Canada, and our port has actually just merged with the Oshawa port, making us one of the largest port authorities in the Ontario and Canada region. Next slide. The next 3 slides are really just why Hamilton. We've been recognized internationally as being some of the best multimodal areas, including Great Lakes, our airport, our seaport. We're one of the fastest growing airports. Next slide. We have been ranked as one of the best places in North America for tech opportunities, including the best for tech talent. Our university is in the top 75 in the world, and our college has been home to one of the most research-intensive colleges in the GTA. Next slide. We are on the fast track, so we have consistently ranked one of the lowest unemployment rates in Ontario. We have been ranked as one of the best cities to find a job, and we have the best economic diversity score as rated by the Conference Board of Canada. Next slide. All of this is really just to say that Hamilton is one of the fastest growing communities in Canada. We have a variety of different areas for all of our international businesses to consider. Next slide. A big part of this is actually working very closely with some of our partners in the region. Hamilton has struck a partnership with the Niagara region, calling us the Invest Hamilton Niagara partnership. One of the major events that we'll be hosting is happening next Wednesday, December the 4th. It is a Latin America export forum where we have invited the companies from Hamilton and Niagara and surrounding region to come to Hamilton to learn about some of the opportunities to exporting to Latin America companies. Our Invest Hamilton Niagara partnership is focused a lot on the Latin America region, and we have already facilitated several trade missions down to Colombia, and our next one will be in Miami in the new year. But I encourage you to look at our December 4th event. It is hosted by the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trades of the MEDJCT. They will be bringing their Ontario provincial trade commissioners that specialize in all of the countries in in Latin America. Those include Colombia, Argentina, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica. And it's a really great day-long event in order to learn a lot about what other countries are trying to attract, what are some of their key sectors that they're trying to go after, as well as what are the different programs that we have here in Ontario and in federal government that you can access in order to export into those countries. Next slide. The entire intent is that our economic development office is here to support you and your business. So I hope that you will reach out. My role here is literally to be a concierge for your business and to help you find the right resources here within the city, as well as with our partners in the provincial government and the federal government. If you would like more information about the Latin America Export Forum that's happening next week, please send me an email. You'll see my email will be included at the very end of this presentation, and as well you can also reach out by phone or through our website at investinhamilton.ca. Thank you very much, and on to you, Emily.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Tammy. That was great to hear about those stats and about the opportunities available to Hamilton businesses. And I'll just let everyone know as well, I'll be sending a follow-up email to all the participants and registrants for today's webinar, and I will include everyone's contact, all the speakers' contact information as well. So if you don't catch it right now, don't worry about it. You'll receive that in a follow-up. And I'd now like to introduce our final speaker for today's webinar, my colleague, Katie Baker, who is the project manager for Magnet Business. So take it away, Katie, and I will change your slide.
Hello. So why should Hamilton businesses export? Well, whether you're a startup or a long-established business, it can significantly help grow your business. So when we talk about startups exporting, we usually talk in the tech sector because early on you may see clients from world regions. Generally, if you're a startup in a bricks and mortar manufacturing or agriculture, consumer products, you want to get some legs under you. You want to be regionally, selling and active, and then have a few employees and really have some cash flow that allows you to expand into other markets. But either way, exploring exporting early on is advisable and will really help you become a stronger business in general. As was mentioned, Hamilton is in an enviable geographic location. So really, I think Canadians take for granted that worldwide we sit next to one of the largest, most influential and affluent economies with the US. So Hamilton is so nicely positioned if you look at the map, in North America and in Canada. And that enviable geography helps you regionally and for exporting. So let's say, you need to create partnerships or access financing or navigate logistics to begin exporting. All those are really at your fingertips with the support that's available in Hamilton and also just your regional location in Ontario. Ontario companies are exporters, so Hamilton companies are in good company. You'll be surprised maybe that Canadians are relatively low percentage-wise in terms of SMEs who export. About 10% of on average from coast to coast to coast of Canadian companies who are in the SME category export. But Ontario companies are the leading at 13%. And so that if you do create partnerships or are looking for help in exporting, there's a good ecosystem surrounding Hamilton companies. And you probably know this, but just in case, Canada has a very favorable reputation on the global market. So whether you're exporting services or goods, there's a great reputation that precedes you. We often think about exporting in terms of a product or a tangible good, but services are a largely untapped market. Engineer services, financial, technological, resource development, any consulting can service really can be exported. And again, there's that favorable reputation. So if you're a service company, do consider it. I know some yoga instructors, for instance, who export a yoga class via online participation. So you probably already know the answer to what are the export challenges for your business because you've probably thought about it and been a little bit overwhelmed. But let's just review. There are a lot of export resources, and that's the good news. The bad news is you have to decide, well, which one works for me? What makes sense? So the thing about the Hamilton Exports portal is that it will help disseminate that information. And when you sign up and become a participant through the matching technology and the creation of your own profile, then you will get targeted information from all those resources. Again, it will help you save time. So you know this already, that you have limited time to spend searching out the right opportunity. That will come right into your inbox when you're part of the Hamilton Exports portal. And there are multiple providers of programs, content, and events, such as the upcoming event in Hamilton, a great one to take in. There's grants, there's programs that are being rolled out across the country that exist in Toronto, such as the TAP program. All of those you will get information on when you're part of the Exports portal. So how can the portal, I think I covered this, but in a succinct way, we'll say that the information you receive will be targeted. It comes very conveniently right into your inbox, and it's free. That's the benefit. I think probably as a business owner, you're subject to a lot of information every day, and you're wondering what's important to take the time to read. With the Exports portal, it comes right into your inbox, and then when you enter the portal, you can research other information, related information within archived community messages or the Learning Center. So I'm getting ahead of myself here. The opportunities that you'll find. So the Latin American Export Forum, that's a really interesting opportunity, even if you haven't considered exporting to Latin America, or you haven't really considered which region you'll go in worldwide. What you'll learn at that forum, you can take to other markets, because you'll likely understand the challenges and the rewards of exporting to another region, but things that involve, logistics or research in the market, which leads into the CanExport funding. Once you have decided on a region to export to, you can make an application to CanExport, which I highly, highly recommend every business take the time to do. For instance, if you decided that I am going to export to Latin America, I am going to choose Brazil because it's one of the largest world economies that's been emerging as a sophisticated economy for a few years now, and you decide to take some colleagues, you're going to take in a trade mission, you're going to participate in a show, you're going to get some B2B meetings, you're going to be there for a week. That's going to cost, I'm going to say round figures, $50,000. I'm not sure it would cost you that much, but let's just say it does. You can apply to CanExport. You got 50% of that business travel, any preliminary or follow-up market research, attendance at events, translation of marketing tools, IP production in that region, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of good support there with the CanExport program. And in terms of who can apply, you have to be a for-profit company, smaller than 500 employees, less than 100 million in top-line revenues per year, but more than 100,000 in revenues a year. So basically, you have to be in the category of an SME, and you can receive great support. And I like to tell companies that the investment in exporting in the early years is definitely there. I'm not going to lie. You're going to take time to build relationships and to establish, what hopefully will be ultimately a contract. You're going to decide on payment terms and shipping. But by year 3, you should be matching by year 4 and 5 absolutely your domestic revenues and even surpassing them. And finally, I just wanted to talk a little bit before we take your questions, because I'm looking forward to hearing any and all questions you might have. If you're a small company and you really want to, hire some student employees, and maybe they're dedicated to your export lens, the SWIFT program is something that is being offered through the Hamilton Exports account. And so the devil is there in the details. You need to hire a student who has a integrated learning component within their study program. But the power of what the student can turn in terms of the dial of your exporting, either learning or taking those next steps, might be quite significant. So 50% of the wages up to 5,000, or 70% of the wages up to 7,000, depending. These are net new placements, and again, they have to have that work integrated component in their education. But highly recommend you looking at the SWIP program if, again, you want to make that focus for helping to acquire maybe more export collateral inside your business. Over to Emily.
All right, thank you so much, Katie, for a great presentation. So we're going to move into the Q&A portion of today's webinar. Again, I see some questions coming in now, but please use your chat box to ask questions to any of us, and I will direct questions to the appropriate panelists. I think a really great first question that I see here, and that we get a lot, just regarding signing up for a Hamilton Exports account. If I'm not exporting yet, can I still sign up? Can I still sign up and take advantage and be receiving opportunities? And I can answer that question. So yes, absolutely. You don't even need to be, you don't even need to have your business off the ground technically to create an account. So if you are still, say, in the very early stages, in the ideation phase, you can identify in your profile that you're pre-revenue business. So of course you haven't started exporting yet, but you'll start getting hit with industry relevant opportunities or events or trade missions, whatever it is. And that will help you in your business planning process. So, maybe in the coming months or coming years, like where's the hot spot for me to go and export my products or services? Where should I get started? And it kind of gives you that preview into what your export plan could potentially look like. So in short, absolutely, if you haven't started exporting yet, please do still create an account on the Hamilton Exports portal. And, I'm sure that you'll also need to be looking for talent, whether that's students, whether that's, mid-career or highly experienced talent. You can find that as well on the Hamilton Exports portal. So yes, absolutely. Take a look here. So I have a question here, would probably be for Tammy. So Tammy, we have a guest asking, does the Latin America export session on December 4th include Mexico? Do you know? Oh, Tammy, I think you might just need to unmute yourself. Sorry, Tammy, I just have you here now.
I've unmuted myself.
Are you there?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting you now. So if you don't mind just going back to your response to the beginning again.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for the question. Actually, yes, Mexico is included in that. It was a whole list of countries and I had just forgotten about it. But yes, Mexico is on the list.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Is it possible to name the other countries?
Hold on, let me find it. Give me a second.
No problem.
Not to worry. And that's something, we can include as well, a little blurb about this particular opportunity. We can include that in a follow-up email to you all, whether you're a small business that's interested in hopping in on the seminar because it is free to participate, or if you are a business service provider, in any way, if it's something you want to share with your business constituents, please do, because I believe we still have some space.
Okay, so the countries that we'll be focusing on for that Latin America Export Forum is Argentina, Brazil, the Caribbean, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Mexico, and Peru. So what this event will entail, we'll have an economic overview of the whole region. We'll hear panel in technology and advanced manufacturing. And then you'll also be able to connect with 20-minute one-on-one meetings with some of the area directors of those different markets and senior export advisors in the afternoon.
All right, yeah, really, really great opportunity. So for sure, if Latin America is on your list, make the effort to get out and attend that session on December 4th. Okay, the next question I have here, this one's for Cassandra, because you spoke to your partnership with Digital Main Street. Are you able to just give us a quick overview again? I think this person missed part of your presentation, but they're wondering about the how you can submit an application to receive the funding with Digital Main Street.
Yep, can everyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So we, all you have to do to find out, first of all, if you are eligible, and second of all, to also start the application, is to go on to digitalmainstreet.ca, all one word, obviously, and you'll get directed to the Digital Main Street website. From there, you can see information on the steps to completing the application. So as soon as you get to that screen, there's a sign up button. And so you complete this kind of digital onboarding, and what it will do is it assesses your current percent health of digital capabilities for your brick and mortar business. So you have to be a part of, that's another eligibility criteria. You have to be a brick and mortar business with a business that is along a commercial corridor, so like a main street, or a part of a BIA. Those are the two eligibility criteria. And essentially what this grant that you'll be receiving will help you do is survive through construction, or help you boost something up in order to, when LRT construction is going through, you still have an e-commerce website to sell products, and you can still keep up with that revenue despite the construction kind of thing. That's essentially what we're aiming for. There are businesses in Hamilton that have received the grant if they are a part of a co-working space. That does count. And they do make a couple other little exceptions, as long as you just kind of indicate that in your application. And the website online will take you through every single step. And then at the end of it, once you get approved, it actually connects you to a full vendor directory of Hamilton businesses who have signed on to Digital Main Street as a vendor. So say they have website skills, or they can help you with digital advertising. It connects you to kind of like a verified list of businesses that are in the area that are willing to help you out with the grant. And then you can essentially use the grant to pay for their services. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that.
No problem.
I have another question here. I'm just going to open it up to all of the panelists. Do you have a list of made in Hamilton or made in Canada products which may have an overseas market? I don't know if any of our...
So Cassandra or Tammy, is this something you've identified regionally? It's Katie here, just giving you the first chance to kind of answer that, if there's the key sectors or product offerings that Hamilton region has focused on in terms of saying for promoting to export markets.
I'm not sure about that. I'm going to leave that one to Tammy. Is there a list, Tammy, by any chance?
Is Tammy muted?
Just one moment. Trying to unmute Tammy. Not sure why I have to call.
Hi.
Okay, there you go. We got you on, Tammy. We can hear you.
Yeah, I was like, Emily, can you unmute me? So we don't have a list per se of made in Hamilton Canadian products. However, we do have a significant amount of Hamilton companies that do export. So we have everything from advanced manufacturing to life sciences to software companies, small handmade goods. I think it depends on what you're really looking for. We just don't have like a master list of all of these like made in Hamilton sort of stories. But if anyone is interested in just asking, you can email me directly and I can try and help and answer your question. I just think that it's a little bit of a vague question for me to provide a definitive answer to. We have everything from advanced manufacturing, aerospace, we have composites, materials, we also have processes and expertise that we also export. So yeah, just send me an email and I'll try and help as best as I can.
Yeah, it is a really good question, because as a business, you're wondering, you know, is my product, is it exportable? And I would say, you know, every product is exportable for sure. Just a quick look at some of Ontario's top exports, if this is a guidance. As Tammy mentioned, like chemical is about 10%, machinery is 8%, primary metal 7%, food around 5%. Those are the kind of 4 largest of value. So if that's any help, generally governments will often focus, as Tammy mentioned, you know, on the development and worldwide, you know, e-commerce or commerce of technology. That's always a big one. Life sciences are always there as well. If a province has, you know, rich and natural resources, like Ontario is fantastic for agriculture and some mining. So again, really, it's a good question. Usually there are sectors of focus, and with a little research on Google, you can just see, you know, the province of Ontario's focus for export might help you out. But for sure, give us an email and we can send you some links for key sectors.
Just to tack onto that, Katie, in Hamilton, we actually do have a lot of raw materials that we export. So our agri-food and food processing is really huge in the export area. We also, our background and our history has always been in steel. So we have
absolutely
major steel products, and both in unfinished and finished steel coils. So again, it's a little bit of a vague question. So if you guys could just send me an email, I can help answer that question.
Yeah, and that's really what this portal is here to support small businesses with as well. So when you sign up and create an account, I'll go through the onboarding process, but you are asked 7 to 10 questions about your business, depending on if you're exporting or not. And so we'll ask, you know, what's your industry, what's your export experience, what's your specific location, what's your organization size. And based on this information, our content providers, so EDC, BDC, Global Affairs, and the Ontario government will be sending you market data, webinars, seminars, learning opportunities, but also, planning templates, market intelligence information, like all of this, and that will help kind of guide your decision on what markets you want to export. So really leverage the Hamilton Exports portals as a tool for that as well. And I have another question. So this is the Hamilton Exports portal. How many other regions and cities have portals, and how can I find out what they are? So if you're looking to find your local version kind of the Magnet Export Business Portal, reach out to me directly, and I'll be able to connect you with one of our partners who have a similar initiative going on as this particular initiative in Hamilton. And let me see, just one more question, and then I just have some final things to say. And this is actually a good segue into the last part of the presentation. So how do I sign up for the Hamilton Exports portal if I already have a Magnet account? And so if you were introduced to Magnet through Hamilton, through the city or the chamber previously, you may have signed up for Magnet on the recruitment side. So maybe you posted jobs or hired students, and now we've brought, you know, this new functionality into play this year. So you don't need to create another account. You don't need a separate email and password, anything like that. It's really all on the one platform. And all it requires you doing, and actually I'll advance to the next slide, but all it requires you doing is signing into the hamiltonexports.ca sign-in page one time, and then you're automatically affiliated with that landing page. And so there's no need to create an additional account. And also keep in mind too that, you know, maybe you are responsible for international business development on your team, but you have someone else that is responsible for recruitment. You can add up to 5 members within your Magnet account, and so you can all be using the same account but with your own sign-ins if you have different responsibilities within your team. And so I'm just going to move in to our next steps. So how do you access opportunities on the Hamilton Exports portal? So as I mentioned, if you already have an account, just sign in through hamiltonexports.ca. If you don't have an account yet, please get started. hamiltonexports.ca. And this is really the first step. In the registration process, you were able to identify if you do not have an account and you'd like us to jumpstart your account. So you'll be receiving some follow-up information about your account in the coming days. But if you hadn't selected that option in registration, it's really easy to get started. So you're going to go to the website, click Create an Account. You just insert your company name, your email name, and then your personal first and last name. So only one person in your company needs to create an account. And then you can add the additional numbers in your settings once you're onboarded. But from here, you'll receive a confirmation email from Magnet, and you'll be required to authenticate your account. And you'll then get thrown into onboarding. And so if you look at the screen here, you'll be required to answer 7 to 10 questions depending on your export experience. And we ask you these questions because we want to ensure that the opportunities sent to you are actually relevant to you. So, you know, it's quick to run through the questions, but at the same time, put some thought into what you're answering. And once you've finished your profile, Magnet will quickly get to work and scan the system for all active opportunities that match your profile. So upon completing your profile, you're going to start receiving messages, and that can really happen, you know, as soon as a couple minutes after completion. And so I'm just going to switch back to this slide again. But from here, it's really just a matter of setting your email preferences. So the Hamilton Exports portal, it's not another portal that you're required to log into every day to see if there are any updates on your account or if you've been hit with a new message. It's connected to your email. And so when funding or a trade show or a networking opportunity, a learning opportunity comes out that matches your industry and growth goals, you will be notified. So that really concludes our webinar for today. I hope you all found some really pertinent information today, some relevant information, whether you are a small business owner yourself, an entrepreneur, or if you are an organization who supports small business growth and expansion in the Hamilton area. I hope you found this information to be useful. Thank you so much to our panelists, Cassandra from the Hamilton Chamber, Tammy at Hamilton Economic Development, and Katie from Magnet Business, who gave really great overviews of just a fraction of all the opportunities available to Hamilton region businesses. And so I really hope you all take the opportunity to build out your Hamilton Exports account, whether it's accessing funding opportunities, human resources, or the knowledge to help you scale. We really want you to leverage this new tool and realize your company's growth potential. And if you require any further follow-up, I have our contact information here on the screen, so please feel free to reach out to us using these emails. And again, remember that this webinar is recorded and it will be available to you should you wish to go back and re-listen. So thank you all so much for your time and participation today, and you'll be hearing from us, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.